What do we do? I don't have an answer for that. There's just so many unknowns right now. What we need, shall we say, we as farmers are good at adapting to whatever the rules are. And so we just need, hopefully, to have clarity. What's expected, when it comes to conservation and like that. We've come out of a time of some of the the best times for getting conservation on the ground. There's been money to help farmers try new practices. And what my observation is, especially our middle adopters, the biggest barrier is get them to try it. I mean, seriously try, strip till, and cover crops and things like that. We as farmers are very protective of our practices. And anytime we're asked to change our practices, that's a big ask. And so I understand. And so the opportunity that we've had to be able to incentivize farmers it has really been beneficial for conservation. I hope we can keep some of those opportunities.
We had billions of dollars, $19–20 billion in the Inflation Reduction Act, and those are what is left of those anyway are being repurposed, they say, and put elsewhere. So, and I'm not sure what is going to come out of the Farm Bill because there's going to be conservation funds that they've already said are being cut out of there. What do you see might be the outcome of all this?
Well, for conservation, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, this isn't the Champaign County Board or whatever, but my opinion for conservation to be long-term, it needs to be tied to a market. And so as we look towards, sustainable aviation fuel and things like that, there's still that potential for a market that we farmers typically are willing to make investments and make changes if we see a long-term commitment, a market. The IRA money, has been great to get people to try things, but just, in my opinion, there's got to be, eventually it has to be tied to a long-term market to really get our middle adopters to say, I want to be a part of that. Not just saying we're gonna pay you to try it, but it's when our farmers internalize the want to do it because there's something that they're interested in. Whether they're wanting to rent a farm where the landowner says, there's a certain level of conservation that I'm going to expect, and so that is a reason that farmers will, that's a long-term thing. And, sustainable aviation fuel could be a long-term thing. And what's going on now with seamer milling, those of us that raise wheat, they are incentivizing through the STAR program for conservation efforts. And that is because their people they sell to are interested. They want to see things raised with conservation. So I'm very concerned about the IRA money, but right now we need clarity. We just need to know what the rules are, and we farmers will adapt. We'll find our way, and I think there's still enough interest from industry to say there's demand for conservation.
So it may end up those incentives could be coming from private industry instead of from a USDA fund, NRCS, something like that then.
Well, it's still in the development stage, and I hate to speculate, but if that would develop, if industry would say, if the consumer tells industry this is important to me as a consumer, industry will find a way to make it happen. So it goes all the way back to, in my opinion, back to the consumer. If they say taking care of the land is very important and the products I buy I want to be able to feel good about what I buy. That's taking, you know, that the people that are raising that, you know, whether it's wheat for flour or, you know, corn for aviation fuel, that there's all kinds of things that our products go into. And if the consumer decides that it's important, they will, you know, we farmers will do it.
We've come a long way in really not too long, really fairly quick in the last few years. We certainly don't want to lose that.
Yeah. Kurt Coffey spoke at our annual meeting today, and it was he's the lead for Case IH North America, and I really learned a lot from him in that they are looking to what, you know, his one thing that really stuck with me was follow the money. Yeah. You know, and if the consumer, you know, wants, you know, conservation, if they're willing to say it's important to them, you know, the money will be there to get conservation on the ground. And when I was with Farm Bureau, I was in a meeting one time, and I can't even think of the name of the guy that said it now, but really changed my thinking that he made a comment that there's never going to be enough money in government to be able to take care of these problems. You know, government has a role to help we farmers try things, but to get it to be a long-term thing, we need markets that are tied to it, in my opinion. And so however we can work to try to find that path that the consumer says, this is what I expect. And, you know, farmers will do it. We farmers will do it because we want to be in that market.